recovery. So there's so much work to be done. There's so much money required, money that is not available. Some of this will free up that money for us to do some of that work. Some of it will get some loans to support it. But then at the end of the day, we'll then be able to determine what is really left for the palliatives. So I'd rather look at palliatives from a federal budget point of view, rather than trying to help sell this. Let me end by saying that, and appealing to Nigerians to please, for the first time, realize that we are doing our very best. I have, together with everybody who is in this government, worked night and day looking for solutions. This hasn't been one of those governments that you came in and earnings were so superfluous, huge earnings, and things were working. We've come in literally to problems. We came in with refineries not working, pipelines not working, subsidies unpaid, fuel scarcity all over the place. We've been working day to day, and I think that as Nigerians see me struggling from one refinery to one depot or the other, they will see quite frankly, I hope that they will see the honesty that one approaches this job with. It's for the first time, it's try and get a job done. Try and address the needs of Nigerians. Don't lie to them. Don't pretend. Don't embellish it. So as difficult as some of these sale programs will be, our duty is to ensure that at the end of the day we deliver value. And we mean well. And Nigerians should please trust us. Give us a chance. You'll be surprised what will become of your PMS pricing over the next 6 to 8 months.
We did not at any time discuss price increase with the minister. What had happened was that on Tuesday at about 4:30 p.m., we received a letter from the office of the Vice President inviting the President of the NLC to what was termed a consultative meeting. No subject matter was indicated, and the meeting was scheduled for 12 noon on Wednesday. Because the President was out on official duty, I went and represented the Congress. The TUC President was also there, and the President of NUPENG was also there. These were the 3 representatives from Labour. There were senators, there were members of the House, there were some governors, and on the spot is when we knew what the matter was, and that it was to receive a presentation from the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources. He made a presentation in which he was canvassing for total deregulation, abolition of subsidy, and all that. And at the end of it, there were those who made comments, mainly those from the National Assembly, some cautioning, some advising, and some asking other questions. The Vice President then specifically called on us one by one, by name, the 3 of us. And what we told the Vice President was that we had just received that presentation, and since we represented democratic organs, institutions, we will take the presentation and discuss it at our organs, and we will get back to government on our position. That was all that happened, and the meeting rose. No decision was taken there. And so when the minister was quoted to have said that we were part of a meeting that took that decision, then he's clearly not truthful about that. And I think governments need to be truthful in putting facts before citizens. We were not part of that decision, but that is not even what is crucial. What is crucial to us is that this particular increase is unacceptable to us. This will be the worst approach that any government has taken in our history, in the sense that the other governments have attempted to remove subsidy and to say they are deregulating completely. But in doing that, no government has said that importers should now invade the black market for foreign exchange, and therefore the domestic price, pump-head price, would now be determined on the basis of a black market foreign exchange. Because that's a recipe for economic instability, and not just in the oil sector, but the whole economy. Because the demand for importing products, when it invades the black market, you know what is going to happen to the value of the naira in the black market. It will, collapse. And when that happens, then PPPROA, or what they call PPPROA now, because there's no legal body properly constituted as of now, would then go ahead and use the devalued naira to again compute. So this 145 is just a start. And within the next few months, and the economic logic suggests that we're going to have a total collapse of the value of the naira in the black market, and then that is going to lead to further increases. We think this is undesirable for the economy, and we think that the government has not thought this policy through, and we are opposed to it. But you know, as democratic institutions, we will confront this matter later today when the National Executive Council meets in an emergency session.
With every passing day, the queues grow longer and the frustration worsens. Based on the situation, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation explained that it has commenced a massive importation of products which should guarantee availability of petrol, as promised by the Minister of State for Petroleum.
I think a step in the right direction is being taken now with co-location. They will bring in some private investor, citing modular, that is smaller units, but using the already existing ancillary facilities that are still, you know, possibly useful, like the pipeline network within the refinery.
Since around 3 o'clock, now we're there, yes, it's more. They refuse to give us fuel.
However, Nigerians seem to have heard just about enough of all of these promises from authorities and want to seize practical solutions. And with the possibility of the situation lingering for much more longer than anticipated, there appear to be two major options which appeal to Nigerians. The first would be for the federal government to deregulate, while the second would be to consider other alternatives to petrol. Some Nigerians who prefer the former say this period is an opportunity for the government to boost the oil sector.
This is the best time to deregulate. They should seize the moment. The market is already indirectly deregulated. You have, you know, price regime varies from one station to the other. So what is the federal government waiting for?
We should build more refineries. We should increase our refining capacity. If we increase our refining capacity, we will even have the potential of selling refined product to the neighboring countries instead of selling crude oil. Once our refining capacity can be increased, all this problem will come to a pass.
While most Nigerians are not opposed to the first, it's a solution which could take time, and for that reason, they are tilting towards the second option, which could happen more quickly, and that's the option of finding all the alternatives to petrol.
Well, we're back turning our attention to what is going on, yes, out there, and hopefully in the days ahead. Well, joined this morning by Mr. Femi Olawere, who is Executive Secretary of Major Marketers Association of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning. Well, let's get to hear from you. Yes, we do know something is going on out there in terms of what the NNPC is saying, but from Moman's perspective, what is responsible for this?
First, the notion, the impression that only NNPC can supply the country should stop permanently. They can't do that. If you recall, in the first quarter, they gave themselves 78%.
They gave themselves?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they allocated 78% of the allocation to import to themselves.
We thought that they said that because the others who were allocated couldn't access Forex, and so the responsibility fell on NNPC, not that they gave themselves that. But is that what
the arrangement should have been you assist the private sector to assess that effects. You see, let me paint the picture right. In the winter months, refineries abroad produce more of the heavy oils because they need that for heating. So they produce less of petrol. That one affects every buyer in the market. So you need many people to go to several places to get the product. And if you give yourself 78%, and I'd say that with all sense of responsibility, because we told them it was wrong. 78%, any problem that happened to 78%, you cannot use 22% to correct it. So they couldn't bring in the 78%.
Why?
I've told you. The product was very scarce. Okay, on the international market. Now we are into spring, and therefore the production arrangement in the refineries has changed. You now have PMS coming in. And that's why everybody is confident that pretty soon we'll get more product and all this nonsense will end. Because it's unfair.
Was there a parley between Moman and the NNPC when that allocation was done?
We've always requested for more engagement. For that, there wasn't much engagement. The only reason is what we have said. They told us, oh, you can't access FX and therefore we're going to give you only 22%.
But did they tell you that, or it was the marketers that said, well, since we can't access this, so there's no way we can import?
No. The marketers said, assist us to get FX and we will import.
You know, I asked the question because if that meeting had happened, definitely with suggestions from members of MOMAN, say, okay, help us access foreign exchange, the foreign currency, help us in this aspect. And again, looking at the facilities owned by NNPC and say, hey, wait a minute, guys, you can't take this much because you can't actually shoulder this weight of responsibility. Perhaps they would have saw reason with you people, but that meeting never held.
There was a meeting, but it wasn't a formal meeting. But in all the meetings we've heard, we've made it very clear to them that they alone cannot do it. And it is not a statement we just made. We've been making it for years, that NNPC alone cannot supply the nation. And
what exactly did you see? I'm talking about MOMAN now, not you as a person, that would make you think that NNPC can't shoulder that task?
First, NNPC does not have, even if they had all the monies in this world, they don't have the facilities, the logistics, they don't have it. Look at all their pipelines and depots. They are not functioning very well. So they need us. Okay? And even the retail outlets, they don't have the number that can service the whole country. So we always tell them that it's a question of partnership.